Hey everyone, I'm Mari Ray and welcome to a Sims 3 current household video. I don't do these very often, and that is in large part because I actually don't play my game too much outside of the challenges that you normally see me post. It's very sad, actually. It's not that I don't enjoy it. Sometimes I just don't have the time, or just playing my challenges are enough for me in terms of The Sims. I do play other games or do other things outside of The Sims, so sometimes just playing the challenges is enough to scratch my Sims itch. But lately, I have sort of felt like just playing the game and not actually doing anything with a goal in mind, which normally the challenges, there's a goal. I know what I'm after in those, but I just been sort of going with the flow and playing a game just for the fun of it, and I have been having a blast doing it. If you've seen any of the speed builds that I've posted, as well as the live streams from recent weeks, a lot of it is inspired from playing this family. Sometimes when I do just go with the flow and play, I do get inspired to build some things in the world because I want it for my family to experience. And I am still currently working on a save file to move this particular family in. It is inspired by that, but I am not done with that save file. So right now we are in the gorgeous, beautiful Moonlit Falls. Moonlit Falls is such a pretty world, you guys. It is so gorgeous, which is why I thought we'd start on the pictures of this gorgeous mountain range and the background here of Moonlit Falls. It is a very pretty world. I do still plan to move to the world that I'm working on. Just, it's not done. Nowhere near done. I still have work to do in there, working on it. But this family is very supernatural based, so I thought Moonlit Falls would be appropriate for this family. And we are going to be introducing the family, the Jackson family, because that is the name of the family that I have been playing, the current household I have been sort of having a bit of fun here with. But before we actually meet the family, let me give you a bit of a brief background on what I've done up to this point. I don't have screenshots for everything. I do apologize. I took some screenshots, but I don't have some for all, but I'll show you what I have about what happened up to this point, because they actually just recently moved to Moonlit Falls. They were living in another town before this, but some weirdness with my game, getting scarily near corruption in my mind, made me move them. So they are now living in Moonlit Falls. So this is a recent move for them, but they've had a little bit of life that happened before this. So let me just tell you a little bit of their story before we see where the family are today. So this family started with two Sims. You have Jackson. Yes, his first name is Jackson and his last name is Jackson. You can call him Jack. But him and his then girlfriend Rashida were the two Sims that I had initially when I first started playing this. And she was a low-level fortune teller. He was an aspiring private investigator. And they were struggling a bit for money in the early days, trying to just, live and pay the bills with very meager amounts of money. And one day, when he was out and about town, he stumbled across a person who spontaneously combusted and literally burned to death right in front of him. So he found his case. This was what he was waiting for. The big case that he could break that would, get him right up to par and put him up there with the greats. So he starts to investigate. And his girlfriend, Rashida, was sort of like, maybe you should just let this go. It seems like something that's way above your league. Maybe we should just stay out of it. And after no progress on the case, he starts to think that maybe she's right. Maybe he should back off. So he does sort of lean away from it just a little bit, and they continue to live their lives. And eventually he wants to move on with his life and he proposes to her. So they have plans to get married. He's going to let all this go, and he's thinking maybe he should end up doing a career switch because they're still not making too much money and it's still a struggle for them. And now that they're planning to get married, he's thinking, I should probably find a new career. So he's out and about town filling out some applications, and he stumbles across another person who spontaneously catches fire, but this time he is there in enough time to put the person out. And it turns out that this crispy fellow who he just saved is actually the boss of a business office, who in turn offers him a job. And though he's interested as to what's going on with the literal spontaneous combustion and flames that this guy just burst into, he's willing to take the job. Maybe he could still be a little interested on the side and at the same time move on with his career to help to support his family. So he takes the job. He gets married. Him and Rashida are living a happy life. They're happy together and they have a son. They're living their life. They're having a normal everyday, working his 9 to 5, moving on with his life and enjoying himself. As he starts to age, he goes through a little bit of a midlife crisis, just a bit. He starts to be a little bit afraid that he's not going to leave his mark on the world. He's not going to do anything important for himself. So he gets a little bit of a party bug in him. He goes out after work every day. He goes to the bars. He goes to the clubs. He goes and drinks and has fun. And sometimes his boss will come with him, but it turns out his boss has a little bit more to him than he originally thought. I mean, the guy did catch fire in front of him, right? Well, that's because he is a vampire. And one day when they were out, he turns Jackson. So his wife, when she discovers this, is mortified because she is a witch. She has been this whole time. She's kind of kept that from him and hasn't really used much in terms of magic because she really did just want to live a normal life with him and just be happy. But when he is turned, she has to reveal that she's been involved with trying to protect people from the undead, like vampires, monitor them, make sure that they don't hurt anybody or cause any issues. But now that her husband has been turned, she doesn't know what to do. But she decides that they're going to try to make this work, He can drink from her, he won't hurt anyone, everything will be fine, and they can continue to live happily. No one has to know, they can keep him safe, and everything will be fine. But he's not safe, He's a turned undead. He has no idea about what he is or the powers that he has or who might be out there looking to hurt him. And he ends up getting caught in a situation that he can't escape, and he inevitably gets caught outside where he burns, which, by the way, you guys, at this point in the story, I blame Enros for this. If you couldn't tell, I'm making this up based off of the events that happens in the gameplay. This is not something that I planned. I'm literally stringing together a story that I canonically put together in my head as I was playing the game and these events unfolded. But Enros is all who I blame for this scenario that happened, because he was out doing something for work and he had to go to a rabbit hole. And when he came out of the rabbit hole, Enros hard reset him, sent him back home, and the moodlet for being out in the sunlight didn't go away. Now I could have shift clicked this away, but I was going with the flow. I told you guys I was going with the flow in this gameplay. I was not trying to guide things, and he ended up catching fire and burning to death because nobody was at home to stop it. His wife was at work. She couldn't put him out. So yeah, that happened. He ends up burning to death though. So she comes home, finds that, he's dead, and she is devastated because on top of finding her husband dead, she's also pregnant again with their second child at the time. So she's just lost after he's dead. She sees his soul wandering around, not really remembering who she is anymore, and she wants him back desperately. She's having another child. His son won't really get to know him too much, so she's trying to get him back, and she pours everything she has, refocusing back on her magic because she had been ignoring it for so long. She, was not as well versed as some of the other people who know magic in her realm or in her line of people. So she starts to focus on her magic again. She's trying to get herself back up to the point where maybe she could do something to bring him back. And it takes so long. He's dead and she's devastated, and she's getting close to giving birth to their second children. And she hasn't found a way to do it. It did, by the way, take me a very long time to get her magic up to the point to actually resurrect him. It took a while, but eventually, right before her children were born, she manages to resurrect him. But he comes back and he's not the same. He's dead. His body is falling apart. So she tries to restore him, and it appears to work, but he's not exactly the same after that. Things are still kind of turning. Not only did she dabble in arts she wasn't supposed to by resurrecting a dead sim, dabbling in the necromantic arts are forbidden. So she not only did that for the guy that she loved, but she couldn't even really bring him back completely because she didn't know what she was doing. And that sort of brings us up to where we are now. They have since fled that small town in an attempt to get away from anyone who might have known about her use of necromancy to bring back her husband. But hiding has become too much of a problem, so they stopped hiding. They decided to tell people that this is how they are. Deal with it. So let's go ahead and actually introduce ourselves to the family as they stand today. So reintroducing the family today, we will start with our somewhat unfortunate soul of the first part of this family's journey, Jackson Jackson. He began this as just a guy named Jack. He was just a guy, and he was a normal dude. He was human. He was just trying to live his life, trying to move on, trying to marry the woman he loves. He ends up being turned into a vampiric undead, burned to death, walks around as a ghost for a while, not knowing who he was, being resurrected as a zombie, and then eventually returned back to a living body that was still not whole and falling apart. And now he has sort of faced the repercussions of that. He is still a vampire, but he has changed quite a lot. So Jackson here was never able to get his body back to the way he should have been. And he is at this point a walking skeleton. His flesh fell apart. His wife was never used to the necromantic arts, and what she did to restore his body put his soul back in the anchor of his body, but his body was not back to normal. So his flesh eventually rotted away, leaving behind a skeletal remains that still contained his soul. So I love the fact that right now he is a sparkling skeleton, because he has since been able to learn to withstand the sunlight despite having a lot of trauma done to him. I mean, he has no flesh to burn at this point, and he's learned through just learning to use his powers as an undead to be able to withstand the sunlight. So he is outside right now working on a car that we're working on. Yeah, I love Jackson. He is so much fun. All right. I thought that it would be a fun idea to drastically change his look after everything that's happened to this guy over the course of this game. Being human, being turned to vampire, being dead, and being a ghost, being a zombie, and then coming back to life. I thought it would be fun to give him a bit of a different look, just to show the trauma of everything that he's been with. So Jackson Jackson is the skeleton father extraordinaire. I love this guy. He's so much fun. He is, by definition, a hothead, charismatic, ambitious genius who is hopelessly and without question in love with his wife, who would do anything for him to defy what she actually has been raised to believe and dabble in magic she has no business touching in order to keep him here and bring him back so that he could be with his family. He loves his wife to death, and he is devoted to her and his family. He is my sparkling skeleton, and I friggin' love him. He has since, after trying to hide for so long, his body falling apart, his flesh rotting off the bones, at this point has decided, forget it. This is what I am, and people are going to learn to deal with me. I understand I'm a skeleton, but it is what it is. People can be afraid. He can make them afraid if they need to be afraid. But Jackson Jackson is all around a good guy. Not afraid to scare you if he needs to, though. So he still works in his career as the business career. He's now chairman of the board. He's moved right on up the ranks, and I think part of it could be that it's a little intimidating to stand up to a literal walking skeleton. So he's probably going to take over the world someday. But as of right now, he's content just trying to make money to support his family. And speaking of his family, upstairs we have his wife, Rashida. She has since changed a lot since they have first come into contact, and since she first went through everything she did. Dabbling in the necromantic arts has taken a toll on her just as much as it did to her husband. Her hair has sort of drained of life a little bit here, and she is now a very powerful witch, verging on, like, you know, some of the strongest witches that you'll ever find. She's a master of alchemy, a master of witchcraft. She has full on gone this supernatural path. She's like, if I'm gonna have an undead skeletal husband, then I'm diving all into the supernatural. We are going to be the family that will survive, and I don't care what means we have to do it. Hence why she was totally willing to dabble in the necromantic arts to make sure that she survived and that her family and her children had their father when they grew up. So she is over emotional, also hot-headed, green thumb, dramatic, and hopelessly in love with her husband. If it wasn't obvious, she was willing to defy the laws of nature for him, and nature is a big thing that she's into. She enjoys plants, she enjoys life and creating life and helping life, but she just couldn't let death rule over her life, you know? She gets to control that. So she brought her husband back, and they've since been living very happily. She's been taking care of everything, and she has been making sure that people know that yes, her husband's a skeleton, and you're gonna accept that because, you know, she's also a 3-star celebrity. She's kind of made a name for herself around town. She's very much the advocate for her family in the sense that people respect her. She still works as the in the fortune teller career. She's level 8 right about now. I told you I just moved them here, so her clientele and private readings performed is suffering a little bit right now because they just moved to Moonlit Falls a little while ago. So a lot of these things are kind of like dropping a bit, but you know, they just kind of moved in, and she's making a name for herself here too. Everywhere she goes, she's making sure that people are fully aware that her family is not to be messed with. All right, you can be afraid. She doesn't care if you're afraid, but you know, her family is not to be messed with. Downstairs, we have their eldest son, Ronan, who I did not have pictures of in that screenshot. I have pictures of him from his childhood age, but he is now a teenager, and this is their eldest, Ronan. He kind of grew up a little weird, obviously. When he was but a toddler, his father died unexpectedly, and his mom sort of checked out a little bit, trying to get him back, was very, very aggressively kind of going crazy. So he sort of ended up being a bit on the loner side growing up, and sort of being a little bit closed off into himself. So he is a loner, very disciplined, is good at taking care of himself and keeping himself on track. A bit of a hothead, he got that from his parents, and really good at cooking. He just likes being in the kitchen. He enjoys, similar to his mom, creating life, creating things, and doing that in the kitchen. He's also super into animals right now. I'm trying to give each person of the family sort of their own thing to look into, though I do roll the dice on their children's traits at this point in time, but I am trying to give each one of them sort of like a hobby, and for him it's animals. I almost see him like a druid at this point. He's sort of, if I had to give him like a class, he would be a druid. He's basically into animals and possibly into painting and fishing and stuff like that, but he's really much, if he can seclude himself and not have to talk to people, he's fine with it. So he kind of likes animals a little bit more than people here. So that's Ronan. And then we'll check out the girls here, because when Rashida gave birth after Jackson was resurrected, she did not have one, but she had 2 daughters, twins. This young one here who is painting is little Viola, and I can't really see her face very easily because she's got this giant easel board right in front of her, but she's in her room painting. But this is Viola, the eldest of her twin daughters. She was born first, but she is brave, clumsy, and friendly. She has inherited from her mom, just like her brother, by the way, I forgot to mention that. He has inherited his mother's magical abilities. He was born before his father was even an undead, so he wasn't even a vampire when Ronan was born, but he is in fact a witch like his mother, so he has magical abilities like her, hence where his love of nature sort of comes from. But he has magical abilities. She also inherited her mother's magical abilities as well, but she's a little too young to really truly explore them for the most part. She's sort of in here painting right now. I imagine her being quite creative and getting into the arts to express herself. As of right now, she's just brave, friendly, and clumsy, but I, again, wanted to give each one of them a bit of a hobby that's slightly different so that each one can kind of have their own thing to go about doing. So I kind of plan for her to be my little artist. I don't know if she's actually going to end up with the artistic trait because I roll the dice, but I don't really care if she does or doesn't. This is more just like a little side hobby for me to have her do outside of just wherever path her life tends to take her. I like to give the Sims something else to do. And then last but not least, in terms of the human members of the family, we have little Tanisha, who is Viola's twin sister. She's over here playing the drums. She does play the drums, you guys. This is her hobby outside of there. And like her sister, they were born together, but she ends up getting her mother's magical ability. But on top of that, she kind of drew a little bit of her father's sort of necrotic undead energy. In my mind, I kind of imagine that maybe as a twin, she didn't necessarily survive as a twin, but her father being an undead at the time when they were conceived, because he was a vampire when they were conceived, sort of ended up keeping her alive but not alive. So she kind of ended up with some of that necrotic undead ability in her. So she is a hybrid. She's actually a witch and a vampire, which is a small percentage that is set within Ross right now that you could have a hybrid child, and she is a hybrid. She's a vampire and a witch, and she is insane, clumsy, and easily impressed. The roll of the dice for her is a bit wild. So she's right now, she sort of likes to play. She's a bit of a goofy one. She's sitting here right now in her active wear, playing the drums in her room, but you know, she's a bit of a goofy one. And as of right now, I love everybody in this family. So for her hobby right now is playing the drums, but they all sort of have a bit of a thing that they like to do. He's going to work on his piano skill, but his father, Jackson outside, is really good at the piano. He's almost mastered the skill. He also plays the piano a lot. And Rashida upstairs, like I said, she's really into like the communications of the family. She's right now at this point the highest celebrity of the family. She gets herself out there, but she also dabbles in the alchemic and the gardening, which I don't have set up right now, but that's for the most part the human members of the family. Then downstairs is little Time, their elder cat at this point, just aged up. I might revert this cat back to a younger age again. I don't know. I do find that when I have pets, I don't tend to pay as much attention to them, and that's a little bit sad. But Time has been in this family for quite a while. Like they had this cat back when it was just the two of them together, and yeah, it's now an elder now, but they've had this cat for quite some time. They've kind of got a history with this cat, so I don't know if I ever even want to get another cat, or if I just want to make this cat young again, you know, instead of growing this cat up. But let me give you guys a quick tour of the house before we really get into a little bit of gameplay. I'll play through about a day maybe here with the family. Let me give you guys a bit of a tour. If you haven't seen this house, this is the same house that I have a speed build posted for, and I mentioned in that speed build that I probably would not show any decorations of this house because I was going to probably be decorating it as I play with the family, and that's exactly what I've been doing, hence why it's still very unfinished. Though they're living in the house now because they managed to save enough money to do that. I only have $3,000 left after doing another decoration session with this house, so nowhere near enough money to fully decorate everything, but I've been doing that as the family manages to gain money. It also probably looks slightly different than what it did in the speed build. This whole portion over here, I believe I added after the fact when I came into the game afterwards and starting to play in here. I wanted to have a little bit of a greenhouse action going on up here on the roof. So I added this sort of pop-out section over here where we can have some plants growing because, like I mentioned, Rashida's super into plants. So this over here, I'm going to put pots in here eventually so that we can start growing some plants. But up here is Rashida's like workshop where she can come to make alchemic potions and stuff like that. Let me bring the walls up so you can see. I apologize. Most things in the house are just white walls because I'm still actively working on the decorations, but this is sort of like where she can come upstairs and work on her alchemy and things like that. Anybody can. Her children all want to kind of learn alchemy a little bit too. They're all magically inclined, so makes sense. But this is the workshop for the alchemy upstairs, full of plants. This house is full of so many plants because Rashida, again, loves plants. So when she was decorating her house, she's like, we need life. There needs to be life here. We may be partially an undead family, but it doesn't mean we can't have some life in the house. So plants are their life to this undead here. But this is Rashida and Jackson's room over here. Pretty simple room. They have the little cat bed in there, plants and flowers everywhere. I did not notice that this is cutting through the thingy. I'm gonna have to move that chair out a little bit. I'll do that later though. But this is their room over here, and we got a couple pictures on the wall. There's a bunch of them downstairs. I'll show you guys over there. But this is on their wedding day over here. So that's just Jackson before everything happened, and Rashida back when they were young, before their son was born. That's a wedding photo of theirs. And then over here is a family photo of them today, the family as they stand today. So, you know, I like to put these pictures everywhere around the house. I think that it's fun to use the photography skill to do that. I did have to like cheese a random person in the household to be able to take a picture of everybody, but I like that. If you don't know what that is, that's from the photography feature of the game. I enjoy doing it. It's fun to capture everything. This is just a bathroom. This is going to be a study, obviously a work in progress. It's like a random chessboard and a freaking desk in here. So this is going to be a study, and back here I was planning to make Jackson a little bit of a rest room for his more vampiric side when he wants to maybe relax more like a vampire instead of being a normal normal human and sleeping in a bed. But again, out of money right now. So this is just the attached bathroom to the master bedroom. Little hallway leading to a doorway that leads outside. Got a little telescope. This over here is Tanisha's room, full of toys and stuff because she's just adorable little cutie, crazy ball of energy. So she has her little room over here full of toys and, you know, giant stuffed animals and her drum set. Over here is her sister's room. So this is Viola's room. You probably saw a lot of this when I was showing you them earlier. She's the little painter artist, even though she doesn't have much skill right now, but she's working on it. So her room is similar to her sister's, a little bit kiddie because she is a child, but you know, nice and fun and colorful. This is just a master bathroom. Over here, I plan to make a nursery. Just I don't have a use for a nursery right now because they don't have any babies and I don't really plan to make them have any more children. So as of right now, that's just an empty room. I'll figure out what to do with it later. Downstairs, this is their brother's room. So this is Ronan's room over here. He very much has an affinity for birds, which he doesn't own one yet. I want to try to find a falcon, a crow, or one of those owls to put in the big bird here. And over here, the cat caught some little birds that I was going to put in here. And then I think the cat ate it. So that's a little sad, but the cat had caught a bird I was going to put in there. He also has a snake over here, like a little python over here, because he, again, likes animals. So this is his room downstairs where he hangs out all the time, plays his video games, and, you know, gets his rest. Over here is a home gym. He also has an attached bathroom, but over here is a home gym because actually right now Ronan is super into martial arts as well. He plays he does martial arts regularly just because, again, I like them all to have some hobbies outside of just whatever their skill sets tell them to do. I think it's fun. So this is just a home gym over here. We got a treadmill and a place to practice in the martial arts. This is just the living room, sitting room, whatever you call it, where you can have watch some TV, listen to some music. They have a late night bar over here. The dining room over here where we have a ton of pictures on the wall and right next to the kitchen. I'll go over the pictures in just a second, but right over here next to the kitchen where, again, very earthy, very full of plants and like wild plants and life and stuff like that because of his mother, mostly. She really enjoys plants. And there's nothing in the basement right now. Obviously, this place is still a work in progress. I do have space for a basement. I will probably put something in the basement at some point, but right now I don't have the money to do it. So just the garage. And that's pretty much it for the house right now and what I have the capacity to do. So if you want to see some of the pictures of their family as life has gone on, I did take pictures as things go. This is Ronan as an infant right after he was born. Here are the girls right after they were born. Toddlers for the two of them, and Ronan as a toddler. The girls, I took a lot of these relatively recently. I actually took a bunch of these, I think the other night in game because I wanted to get an updated picture since the girls just aged up a little bit ago. I think about a week ago in game time, they had just aged up into children and I wanted to try to get pictures in game like this before they aged into teenagers. I didn't want to forget. So I did a little bit of a family photo shoot for all of them just to do updated pictures of everyone. I've kind of taken one of them in each life stage. So, you know, Ronan as a toddler over here, he's a child with his sisters. Again, this is sort of a similar picture. I kind of tried to replicate it of all three of them together, getting older. We have a big family portrait in the center. You got a picture of Jackson up here looking kind of mean in this photo, sitting in a chair. And then we have a wedding photo and just the two of them together today. So that's sort of where the family stands right now. I've been, again, having a blast playing this family. I enjoy playing Supernaturals. Playing normally in this game is not something that I do very frequently, hence why the gameplay of this family devolved from being relatively normal to being absolute crazy and insanity relatively quickly because I enjoy the craziness of Supernaturals in my game. But it is spooky day here in the game, so I think I want the family to maybe go to the park and have some fun together at the park. Jackson is outside working on this car, which honestly should be done soon here. He's like super good at the mechanic skill here. So let's see. Let's get them all going to the park though, because I think I want to go to the fall festival today. Okay, so we are here at the freaking park, guys. It is great. I still love that he sparkles It is amazing. It is kind of amazing. Like I don't have them anymore, but I used to have mods for vampires that would make it so that the sunlight didn't affect them. So I never used to have to worry too much about them burning in the sunlight. 3's a crowd for romance. What? Okay. I don't understand what that's about, but all right. But yeah, like I used to have mods that would make it so that vampires could ignore the sunlight and it wouldn't really affect them much. So him burning to death as a vampire was the first time that has ever happened to me in my game, because I normally had mods that kind of ignored that feature. So yeah, it was pretty kind of crazy. So I got the lifetime happiness reward that makes them sparkle, and him being a sparkly skeleton is kind of amazing. I'm not going to lie. I genuinely find that to be amusing. The fact that he sparkles in the sunlight is so much fun, okay? It is so much fun. She wants to become best friends with her brother. Oh, that's so sweet. I think you should be best friends with your brother. Do you want to try to chat with him? Why don't you chat with your brother? Jackson, my man. Why don't you go make some greetings? Is she a maid? Do you want a job? You're a vampire lady. You are going to die. She's a is she a pregnant vampire? I think she's pregnant. And I think she's burning to death. She's a pregnant vampire who's burning to death. My dude, put a shirt on. Somebody in this group has some unresolved issues. Who? Starting fights? Okay, I don't know where that just came from, but all right. She is a pregnant vampire, by the way, and she is slowly smoking and burning to death. Can a pregnant vampire die? Maybe we could see if we keep her here long enough. Is there a person in the ground? Is that what I just saw? Did I just see a pop-up because there's a person in the freaking ground here? Is this what I'm seeing here? I don't know, but she doesn't seem to be wanting to talk to Jackson here. Look, I just want to have a chat with you to figure out why you don't have an umbrella or something, because you are burning to death, ma'am. You are burning to death. I don't understand. Yay, she's best friends with her brother. I would get a Bonehilda, you guys, but I have found the Bonehildas to be a little bit troubling. Like, they honestly started to take out food constantly, and it was starting to make me angry. So I kind of got rid of Bonehilda. I had Bonehilda earlier in this playthrough, and she was starting to make me angry because anytime somebody in the house would get even slightly hungry, she would take out food from the thing and then put it in the fridge. It was like a constant occurrence, and my fridge was filled up with cereal and soup containers, and I was a little bit irritated. Let's actually not do that. No, I'm just gonna send them home because it's raining now, so that's fun. Let's all go home because, you know, what in the world? He run a Barry's vampire from the claw. Okay, well, that's fun. She's dating a man named Chauncey. Ooh, Chauncey, I see. Hold on, let me also disband the group. Apparently only him and his son were in the group anymore. But it's raining at this point, and I think everybody should probably go home. This lady is stuck. I'm pretty sure she's stuck. So, not sure how I feel about that. But let's go home. I do still want to try to get you to promote this whatever to these people so that we can get this off of our list. So can we maybe chat with this guy? Do I know you? Give him an amusing greeting. Anna Love Ivy wants to know if your Sims child would like to play with her child. Should they come over? Sure, why not? That's fine. It ended up being a very sucky rainy day, so why not? Come on over. I'm fine with it, I suppose. Everybody's getting a bit hungry. You like to cook. Would you like to serve some pancakes? Because why not? Pancakes are awesome, and if I could eat pancakes for lunch, I would do so. So let's have a little bit of that for lunch. She's gonna eat leftover salad. That's fine. If you guys are hungry now, go ahead and eat. I'm still gonna have him cook. Why don't we give the cat some love? I always feel like I end up ignoring like all of my animals, and that's probably is wrong of me. Oh, there's the doorbell. I think it's the people with the children, right? Is that who this is? Who's at my door? Wait, who's at the door? Who rang the frickin' doorbell? Hello? Okay, oh my god, it's the person that's stuck in the ground. Like, I can't click that person. I can't even access this person. I don't know what to do in this scenario. The person is literally in the ground. Like, how do I fix that? I don't understand.
1 hour later.
Okay, so a little bit of investigation. I believe I'm supposed to reset a sim, and that fixes them. So this is a person whose last name is Ivy, yeah? I think it's this lady, so... Wait, I don't want to add her. I want to reset her. Hold on, I'm tweaking. I'm tweaking out here. Not reset the lot. How do I reset sim?
1 eternity later.
Object reset sim, sim actors, this chick. Yes. All right, so she ended up going home, but I don't know if that fixed her. I was genuinely trying to see if I could fix her. I mean, the child is welcome to stay. Child, you're welcome to stay here and play, I guess. But your mom has been sent back to the Netherrealm because she was invisible and stuck in my floor. So I hope that that worked, but honestly, I don't know if it's gonna fix her or not. Girls, you guys have a friend over. Would you like to come play somehow? Your brother's over there cooking. She's done with her salad. Why don't we introduce ourselves to Peanut Allergy over here? Okay, so it ended up being a quieter day than I'd hoped because, you know, can they go trick-or-treating? It's like 4 p.m. It's like, it's spooky day. I would like to go trick-or-treating. Can you... Okay, do you have to change it to the costume first? What can you be? A rock star, a hockey mask, a cowboy, a diver, a cowplant, a clown, a burglar, a skeleton, a sixem alien mask? I don't know. Let's be a rock star. I think I want the kids to go trick-or-treating. It's spooky day. It's spooky day, and I very rarely actually do anything on these holidays. So their mom and dad are going to be going to a party soon. So let's have them go trick-or-treating. Change into, you can be, oh my god, there's so many options for children. What is a Morku? I guess this, let's be an alien. I want to be an alien, and your sister's going to be the other kind of alien. Have no idea what that actually entails, but we're gonna do it. She's gonna be that type of alien, and I want you to be whatever this type of alien is. Let's see if there's actually a difference, or if it's just the same costume in a different color. My money's on the same costume in a different color, but we'll have to see. That's a very interesting costume. He kind of looks a little cool with the mohawk, though. Not gonna lie, he looks a little cool with the mohawk. I mean, it's honestly actually kind of a look for you. Maybe we should give you a mohawk at some point in the future. I mean, it's kind of a look for you. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. Is everybody in costume? Now, how do I go trick-or-treating? Yep, same costume, different colors. Something told me that that's what it was gonna be, but what you gonna do about it? How do we go trick-or-treating now? Do we just like click the kids and say go trick-or-treat? Do we have to click the individual houses? How does this work? Okay, I think we have to go to the individual houses. Is there anybody who even lives near us? Because I don't know if anybody lives in these houses. Okay, it says somebody lives here. Let's trick-or-treat with your whole family. All of them. I guess we could take this child with us too. Peanut Allergy, you're coming with us. Okay, so they made it to this party. Let's go in here and literally have some fun. Alice, you invited me to this party. I don't even think I know you. I don't think that I know her. I couldn't tell you if I actually know her. I don't. So let's give her a friendly introduction. I guess she got invited because she's a celebrity, so whatever. Hello, welcome to me, I guess. I don't freaking know you. I'm going to give him a charming introduction. He's gonna start trying to introduce himself to more people around town. You guys know the deal. What's happening right now? No response. Next house. Candy people, candy. How come nobody's home to trick-or-treat from? I kid you not. So I've decided to send the kids trick-or-treating, but individually so that they don't have to wait for each other. So I don't know what was going on with Trick or Treat with, but it did not seem like it was working out very well. So you know, I just sent them individually. Let's see if they get any candy whatsoever, because it almost looks like nobody's home. But can I really say anything? Because they're not at home either. So, I mean, I don't know. But look, all the kids are out and about trying to trick or treat. What? How could that be? The most important night of the year? Lame. Like, we're trying to trick or treat and you guys aren't freaking home. It's a little bit disappointing. I don't want to go home. I don't care that my curfew's coming up. Okay? I don't want to go home. Why do they go home? Okay, he's getting candy. You're getting candy, and you're getting candy, and she's getting candy, he's getting candy, we're getting candy, they're getting candy.
I'm getting candy, you're getting candy, he's getting candy, he's getting candy. Get back to the car!
Okay, I don't know what's happening, but she's going home. I keep telling her not to go home, but I guess she's gonna go home. Like, the sister and him are still out trick-or-treating, because of course Tanisha is. I don't think she cares. I don't think she cares. Let me talk. Lady, you got some big Tataloonies up there. Like some nice big Tataloonies just hanging out right up there. So that's nice. Let's ask if she's single, if she's, hold on, friendly, if she let her ask for her sign, ask her career. And then I'm going to promote a restaurant to her. And then I'm going to see if I can do a psychic reading on her. Ask her about her career. We'll do a chat. And then we're going to, try to promote this restaurant, and then I want to see if I can do a psychic reading on you for work reasons, because, you know, promote the restaurant, and then, come on, fortune teller, do a private reading. What are you up to, Jackson? You're just chatting with whoever this guy is. He doesn't even know who this dude is. He's just like, hi, I'm a skeleton.
Oh, hi.
Excuse me, get out of my way.
My name's Dan, from Grim Reaper Gutters. I won't leave until I make a sale.
Okay. He makes a living as a criminal. Well, Mama, I'm in love with a criminal. Oh, he can't trick or treat after curfew. Can I still prank them? Yes, we're pranking people. We are pranking people. After curfew, we're pranking folks. Oh my god, I thought the dog was coming out. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is he upset that I'm pranking his house? Does he...
Borg, you gotta go. Glade. Away.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Take that for no specific reason whatsoever. Does he get like a bad relationship with these people? No, I don't think that they actually care. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and send him home because it's 2 a.m. and he's likely getting tired. Nope, go home. Don't nap in the chair. Get your butt home. Uh-oh. Oh no. Well, I told him to go home first before you showed up. Bye! I got away with it. You can't catch me, coppers. You'll never catch me. I'm too good. I'm too good. That's amazing. I love that he just got away and like just drove away. All right, he made it back home flawlessly without getting caught. So let me just get him into bed without his parents being aware, or at least I hope they're not going to be aware that he... Oh my god. What is going on with my game? You guys see that it just deleted 24,000 vehicles, but then you also see the fact that there's like a arsenal of cars just hanging out around the house and the town. So, you know, hey mom, nice to see you. I'm just gonna go to bed. Okay, good. Nobody's in trouble here. Nobody's in trouble here. We got away. Flawless victory. We've done it. But I think I'm gonna leave it here. This was just a little short video to show you guys the family that I've been recently playing and the amounts of fun that I've been having. I've been having a blast playing this family. It's been a lot of fun playing them and just sort of creating the stories as I go with them. I am just going with the flow and playing this family for kicks and funs. There's nothing special about it. I don't have any end game in mind. I'm just having fun with this family. And it has, in fact, been just that. But I am going to stop here This is the first current household video that I've done in a while. I'm probably going to continue to play this family as things evolve and change. I'll give you guys another update so you can see where they stand weeks from now, and if anything has changed or if anything has gotten even wilder or crazier than it stands today. Hopefully I'll be able to move them into that save file that I was talking about, get them nice and cozy in a new town, and get them living their life and just progressing through things, and hopefully have this house completed next time we're back, but we'll see. We have to see how that all goes. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, then please give it a like, or don't. That's up to you. But I do hope that you'll come back and join me for another Sims 3 current household video whenever I may have one in the near future. So thanks all. Bye-bye.